Buenos dias, you spicy assholes. It's another episode of The Jaking Off Show. The Jaking Off Show is brought to you by the homies over at patreon.com. Go to patreon.com/jakingoffshow and become a homie. Donate as little as $1 a month. Think of it as a digital tip jar. You give me a little something, I give you a little something back in return. That includes early access to bonus content that will later go up on YouTube and audio clips from a stand-up show that I crushed. It's got to be one that I crushed. I'm not sending you bombs. No, I want to give you the good stuff. So go to patreon.com/jakingoffshow today.
The green teas, and one day they sent me, I have it on my Facebook, but they sent me a hat. Sent me an Arizona green tea hat.
Oh,
and it's
sick.
So sick, dude.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Then somebody stole that shit.
There, one time I got Arizona in Nevada, and they don't do a CRV, and I was all hyped up like, oh, it's $1 and change. I'm looking for like a diamond in my pocket, and they're like, no, it's $1. I'm like, oh shit,
Yeah.
that's 10 cents. That was my lifeblood in college.
That's what I meant about New Hampshire, no sales tax. So like
No
when
sales tax?
yeah, it's amazing. So anywhere, but they did fast food. Fast food places are taxed. So if you go to like McDonald's, a Big Mac meal, no joke's going to cost you about $7 or $8. Then that's tax. So that's where it goes. There's a food tax. But if you go to like gas stations, it's like 99-cent drink. Oh, yeah, 99 cents. You just give them $1.
I feel like I get fucking robbed. In California, it says 99 cents on the can, but there's like other places that will sell it for like $1.50 or $2. I'm like, what? This is fucking bullshit.
It's just crazy. Like I've been to a store before and bought out of Arizona, and they were like, "Oh, there'll be $1.26." I was like, "Ma'am, it's 99 cents." She's like, "We're
false
different,"
advertising.
and I'm just like, I put it down. I literally put it down and said, "Good day." Like,
I'm broke.
yeah.
That's
like,
my lifeblood.
I'm gonna
man.
be cheap as shit. Like, I don't care, dude. By the way, I like this.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's my mom got this for me. I want to eventually have the podcast logo to replace it and put this like maybe somewhere else, but I like where it is right now.
Say where I get my stickers from, they do stuff like that, but it's Lettering Express and it's a bunch of the comics.
Okay.
And you very easily, I could probably tell CJ to hit you up if you're looking for something.
Yeah, because I want to get something like this, you know, kind of my size, and like have my logo kind of in the center, and maybe have like, I don't know. I want it to like fit the frame on it because it's on my cards and all that.
I'm going to tell you, I love your rants. I love your
Thank
rants
you.
that you post.
Thank
They're
you.
fucking great.
Those are. I want to transfer that energy to the stage.
Yeah.
But it's hard because I will literally like I'll write the jokes down and I'll put the piece of paper on my lap and I'll try and like memorize it and look into the camera and like just yell the jokes out loud.
How long have you been doing comedy?
I started taking it seriously almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
I started when I was 14. The Laugh Factory in Hollywood had a program to not necessarily like get kids into stand-up, but you know, public speaking. I was a nervous kid. I was into performing and I did school plays and all that. But when it's you alone up there, you're like, what? You freeze. And I was trying to like get that out of my system. My mom signed me up for it, and it was a 6-week program. Every week was a guest comic. One of them, which became my mentor. Her name's Lisa Ann Walter. She's Chessie in The Parent Trap. The Lindsay Lohan movie.
Yeah.
So she was the second guest comic, and I bumped into her like 10 years later, and she remembered me from that program. And she's like, "Are you still doing stand-up?" And at the time, I was like, "Oh, no, not really. I was focusing on, you know, acting and all that other stuff and music. I was in a band for a minute." And she's like, "Oh, that's a shame you stopped." And I took seeing her as a sign like, "Oh, I should keep doing this," because I took like there was like a 10-year gap.
Can I smoke this?
Yeah, that's fine. My because I started when I was 14. I stopped when I was about 16, 17. My friend's dad would like sneak me into the Comedy Store and like have
Well, that's
me
cool that
do
you got to go
sets.
there. So.
Yeah, it was really fun, but it was also like super sketchy because I'm like, why is this 16-year-old kid making fun of the fucking Bush administration like on stage for 5 minutes? Like, what the fuck? I wasn't really like thinking. It was just fun. You know,
I got the only cool place I've like got to go to is the Cellar.
The Cellar?
Yeah, in New York.
Oh, New York. Oh, I wanted to try that.
It's cool. It's a scary place. It's for 100%. Like, especially if you're like new in comedy. Like, that's the thing I try and tell comics now is like, I've been doing this for like 5 years, and I've done 2 different scenes. I've been up there and then down here in OKC, and you get a lot of these comics that come here and they just think, "Oh, I killed it twice at Bricktown. Can I get that show?" am I gonna get that feature position? I'm just like, man, dude, like you went up there and ranted or whatever you did, and you got a good thing. It's just like, but I've seen somebody have a great set at Bricktown, and a shit set at a small open mic, and they're doing the exact same material, and I'm like, dude, it's the core of your audience. Like like where I'm at, I know how to read my audience. Like if I go to do a show, I look at my crowd, I know exactly what jokes I'm gonna tell. And like with this whole Jason Mewes show, dude, I know exactly what
I think
set
you'll nail it.
Oh yeah, my set is. I know exactly what jokes have worked, especially in what situations. But I'm getting a pot crowd, man. I'm not going to go up there and talk about politics. I don't like that. Nobody cares. And plus, I hate when people bring up politics now on stage.
You have to be good at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it that one time a couple weeks ago at that, and that was just because it was the day after, and it was fresh in my system.
Yeah, and
I
it
just
worked.
needed to get it out. It worked.
Yeah.
I thought it didn't work at all.
Oh, I like it. I mean, it's like the thing is, I've heard people go up there and just do political stuff, and I'm like, oh man, do your research.
Yeah. I mean, I opened for Jimmy Dore once, so like I've seen like what politics can do, especially like if you don't know how to read your audience, it can go horribly fucking wrong. And I've made that mistake before. Like I've done dirty material in front of like middle-aged white ladies. I'm like, oh, that was a mistake.
I opened for Leanne Morgan in February, and if you don't know Leanne Morgan, she's like a super podcast, like super southern, comic. And she has a super accent. She's like, "Oh, bless your heart." So this show was clean, but it was 5 shows, all sold out at Bricktown. I think we had 287, I think, in each one of those shows. And you've seen that place.
Yeah,
and so,
I've seen it get packed. And for an open mic, like, that's crazy. I've never seen that happen.
Well, for, like, fucking shows, dude, like, it gets to the point where they have seats that people will just sit in. And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll pay this much money, and I'll sit in the seat. Yeah. And I remember those, but they had to be all clean. So that first night, I went out there. And bear in mind, this is, like, Bricktown first open. This is my first big show for them. And I'm like, oh. What am I going to do? Like,
how long has Bricktown been open?
Since December of last year.
Oh, shit, it's new.
Yeah, it's very new.
Oh, wow.
Before this, all we had was Looney Bit and Paramount Room.
Oh,
Paramount
wow.
Room closed during COVID.
They're still around during this, this crazy shitstorm and all that. I'm very happy.
I remember when it first came back because we had Brad Williams. Brad Williams was one of the first big shows we had here, and it was Matt Rainey who was on that. And we had it at 25% capacity, and it sold out. So there was only, I don't know, 30, 40, maybe 50 people in there.
No front row?
No front row. Everybody separated, like, perfectly. And, like, the thing is, dude, it was, I remember going out there, and Matt Rainey, we had that open mic. And people came, of course, but they had to be separated like that. Yeah. And I just remember going out there, and just even Matt Rainey said when he got on stage, he's like, it was like looking into the abyss and then seeing some people. And I was just like,
it's hard to look because the light's like right on you. It's kind of hard to see a little bit, so you kind of have to, like, to read your crowd. You kind of have to get a look at them and kind of eavesdrop a little bit before you go on, so you can get some sort of idea.
That's what I like to do. I like to go out there. And, like, I kind of go out and just, like I said, I'll look at the audience. I want to see who's there, what's in the crowd, how's the crowd look. Because you can never judge them by, like, walking in, for instance. Right. Yeah. But, like, I can always tell you can tell your crowd's reactions from the first people in the front rows right there. Like, if you get there and sit, man, like, I before just had, like, I think it was, like, a bachelorette party. Was just sitting right in the front row seat. I'm just like, oh, I know that these people are just going to butt in.
Oh, yeah.
At least 2 or 3 times. I like how we just went into a conversation.
Oh, no, that's the whole flow of the Jaking Off show. Is that, sometimes you'll learn something, and it's just a hang. There's podcasts that are, like, highly produced that have, like, people in a booth, like, doing all this production stuff. I'm like, you don't need all that. You don't need all that. You just need to know, like, how to plug in the right equipment and do the right stuff, and then just do that. There's too much thought. There's, like, schools and classes. I'm like, fuck that. Just go do it. Trial by fire.
You know what makes me feel really old, though? Is your T-shirt.
Disturbed?
Yeah, I bought that album, The Sickness. I bought that album in 2000 at a Newberry Comics in New Hampshire. I think it was. Was it New Hampshire? It might have been. Yeah, or it was one of those. I remember buying that album, though, but, like, did the album have, like, Stupefy, Down with the Sickness?
Yep.
Voices
was the first track.
Yeah, Voices was the
that
first
was
track.
my alarm clock for years, because you know how that song, like, it's kind of slow. 2, it's a slow buildup, and if I don't turn off my alarm by then, and it gets all loud, I'm like, okay, we need to wake up. We need to start the day. Like, that was my alarm clock for a long time.
It's crazy. They are very good live. I've seen them
They're
live.
great.
Yes.
I've seen them live twice. They're amazing.
I haven't seen them since I want to say 2007.
Was that? Oh, that was right out. That was before Indestructible came out, right? Yeah, and then they took a break for a little while.
Yeah, it was kind of those ending kind of times before the break. But like I remember seeing them in Massachusetts, and dude, they still kicked ass. I mean,
they rule.
They finished. Can you guess what song they finished with?
Did they? Okay, so if it was 2007 and it was before Indestructible, I want to say Stricken. No, they wouldn't end with Sickness because that's just the obvious choice.
That is what they ended with.
They ended with Sickness?
Yeah, because
oh my God.
I thought it was like almost equivalent to like a super Leonard Skinner, like like coming back, what the fuck is that called again when they come back on stage?
An encore.
Encore, yeah. But like just with Disturbed, and I remember there's people who were like next to me, they're like, play Down with the Sickness. I'm like, it's coming, right?
Yeah,
like,
they wouldn't not play that.
But then part of me was like, imagine a scenario where Disturbed does an entire like 15-song set and doesn't play Down with the Sickness.
Yeah.
People would lose their minds. Like,
when I last saw them, they played 4 tracks off the first album. They played The Game, they played Voices, they played Stupefy and Sickness, but they like spread it out. They were really good.
What do you think was their best album?
Oh, this is a tough question because it changes every time someone asks me. 10,000 Fists was kind of like my...
Okay.
I was... I'm 29, so that album came out in 2005. I was a freshman in high school.
I'm 32,
and that was the height of my like angst. I'm mad at everyone and everything. I don't know my father. I don't know, I don't have a good relationship with my family. So it was just angry. I actually discovered Disturbed by watching a Dragon Ball Z movie.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Because I was into like anime and all that stuff, and so The Game was playing in one of the movies that I was watching, and I was like, oh, what is this sound? This beautiful sound that I like hearing so much, and that was kind of like how I discovered metal music.
Oh shit!
Through fucking Dragon Ball Z. And
makes sense.
I liked the soundtrack, and I went and found out the artist that played on that film, and I got Deftones records, I got Disturbed records, I got Breaking Point, like mostly butt rock was on that soundtrack, but Disturbed was like the hardest one.
Like I remember when I bought that album, like one of the bands I was also introduced at that time to was Mudvayne.
Mudvayne, yeah.
It was an LD50. And it had Dig on it. And that song was fucking sick for its time.
Yeah. And I'm a left-handed bass player, so I'm like,
shit.
I could be that guy.
I think like dude, it's crazy because like you have to think like that's 20 years ago. So you think about the year 2000, what albums came out in the year 2000? Well, like the one that's gonna like there's an album that's coming out in 2000. Oh, in 2001 it will be the 20th anniversary of it, and it's Iowa by Slipknot.
Oh shit,
dude!
Wow.
Oh yeah. So it's rumored.
20 fucking years.
Yeah, it's rumored that Slipknot's gonna do something next year in honor of Iowa, like do the whole CD. But I'm like, dude, it makes me feel old because that CD to me, like of that scene and that era, was just that's the best Slipknot CD too. I don't care what anybody says. Iowa is the shit.
Oh,
like,
it is.
It defines every sound everything that Slipknot sound was perfectly done in that whole entire album.
I think if it wasn't for Iowa or like Korn or anything like that, I don't think nu metal would still be alive. To the degree that it is, like, what do you think about like nu metal? Because that was
that's what I say. Nu metal, yeah. That's believe it or not, I like. Okay, you look like a band like Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit, musically, amazing. Like you look at, they have John Otto, Sam Rivers, Wes Borland. Just listen to those three. Take Fred Durst out, but you listen to those three. Oh my god! As a person who plays drums, the songs are so badass. Like, and they're hard. They're not easy, and like. I don't know, like Korn, you mentioned Korn and stuff like that. Korn's still doing it. But believe it or not, so is Limp Bizkit. And Limp Bizkit's been doing it in like Europe. Like nu metal still is killing over there.
Oh yeah, and they don't get enough credit because nu metal is also like people line them up with like Linkin Park and POD and like or like El Nino and like some bands that are a little too like with the parachute pants. Like the stylistically it was kind of weird.
I remember the funniest thing ever was when Linkin Park released. You said Linkin Park. I remember when they released. Was it Minutes to Midnight? And that was their first release.
2 minutes to midnight.
Oh shit!
Minutes to midnight. It was really close. I was kind of like, kind Come up with a better name.
I just remember they put a parental advisory on it. People were like, "Oh shit, yeah," because Linkin Park's on a new label and they've been wanting to curse in their albums. I'm like, I didn't know that was a thing that people wanted to do. They're like, "Hey, what? There's not any fucks in this song. What? We need like 7 of them."
Well, that sticker, that parental advisory sticker, kind of makes the record more enticing to get. You're like, ooh, it's more colorful.
Oh, dude, when I was a kid, I had so many unedited CDs, and like it was in a day when we used to exchange CDs. So we'd be like, "Oh yeah, so I'll give you a Smash Mouth and Fuel for what?" Dude, okay, I'll give you those, and I'll give you Corn Issues unedited.
Oh shit!
For Chocolate Starfish and the hot dog flavored water special edition unedited. What do you mean? You've got 2 CDs? Yeah, it comes with a DVD. Like, I remember. Actually, no, it wasn't even a DVD. It was a fucking CD that went into your computer, and that's how you accessed it. That's how I actually ended up watching this documentary called Linkin Park. It was Linkin Park. It was a frat party at the Pancake Festival. That was the name of it, and I watched that whole damn thing because I got that CD and got that like bonus thing and stuff like that. And I remember thinking to myself, like, that's like when music docs started. Like, that was like one of the first music docs I sat and actually watched. Yeah. And then I just went to this whole horrible tunnel of watching music documentaries. I've watched the dumbest ones.
Like, oh yeah. I've seen like Motley Crue behind the music, you know, Guns N' Roses, and like all the drug infested like shit that was going on. And I was in a band. We were playing at the Sunset Strip. We were playing all those venues, and it was kind of nostalgic. And we're like, oh, I'm standing on the same ground where they stood.
Like the Rainbow?
Like the Rainbow, the Whiskey, the Viper Room, and all those places. And it was really fun. It was really fun to do. And it was just thinking like, oh, I feel like a pussy now because I don't really do like coke or drugs or really.
So you've been in that music scene. You've been around that though the last few years.
Bit, yeah.
So did you ever hear of a band there? By the way, you ever hear of a band there called the Bob Wire Dolls?
No, I wasn't. The scene I was in, it was very short lived. My band didn't really get too far outside of the garage. We played. I opened the biggest band that I ever opened for was Municipal Waste at the Whiskey a while ago, and that was a lot of fun. And when that happened, the band was kind of falling apart. You've been in a band before, so it's like being in a relationship with like multiple people at once, and you're not fucking.
That's the one thing I learned when you're in a band for years. Like, I feel like if you're in a band for the first year, once it's lasted that, you're like, this is a fun ride. We've got something going here. But then after like 2 years and you've been touring, you've been doing all these shows, you start to really feel that rust and everything in the 3rd year. And I feel like if you can be in a band and make it 3 years and work on to your 4th or 5th, you should have no problem sticking around and making music. Right. That 3rd year really is that's why I say I only last 3 years in that band, my one band I was in. And I got to that point where it just felt like work. That's what it felt like. It's like, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I'm working right now. What are you doing later? I'm still going to be working. What are you doing? Well, I've got a set list of 10 songs. We've been playing the same set list for 6 months, 3 times a week. Yeah. And it's just like, man, dude, it just gets to the part where I remember like making up breakdown parts and breakdowns. Like I would just have like, da da dun dun dun, and then part of me would be like, what if I did that and now I incorporate the bell? I'm like da da dun 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 ding dun dun dun.
Well, it's also like crafting jokes too, because it needs to feel fresh, like the first time you're doing it every time, and it does get a little taxing.
And there came to that point. I remember we recorded an album and we started incorporating like synth.
Like what Rush did?
Yeah, like a hardcore band though. And like I just remember there would be parts where you'd be sitting there and just listening to the kick, just like da 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 da, but then you'd be hearing like and it's just like you felt like this is not where I wanted to ever go with this music. I love this music. Don't get me wrong. I love Rush. Don't get me wrong. Like Led Zeppelin. I love the early. I love 70s and 60s rock. But like I would never want to do it in that form because it doesn't, to me, feel organic or fitting. Right. It's like when you hear people like, oh, why don't you think you've heard a country metal album? I'm like, I mean, you have, but you haven't. You know what I mean? Like, oh God, what was his name? Maylene and the Sons of Disaster. Did you ever listen to them?
I don't think so. No, it doesn't ring a bell.
The lead singer, I want to say he was from Under Oath, but he made this band called Maylene, the Sons of Disaster, and they had a song, and I just remember hearing it, and it has like a super country twang to it, but then they start screaming. And this is the only time I ever thought to myself, whoa, this works. It works.
Country and metal. Yeah. What's that fucking band?
Hell Yeah.
What's their
Hell Yeah.
Kid Rock. Hell Yeah is another one. I don't know. I kind of fell off the wagon a little bit because because I was a theater kid too. I was focused on like doing plays and shit for a while, and I wanted to do music. I wanted to do comedy, but never did I do all three at once.
You did say Kid Rock, which you could put in, dude. Like you can do a song like "Ball with the Ball."
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely like our cowboy. That's like definitely like country rock. Not
Every
country
time I
rock,
see a
but country
truck
rock
out
metal.
here,
Oh, dude!
every time I see a truck, I'm like, that song is playing in my brain.
I really wanted to use that for a Roastmania theme. Was "Ball with the Ball" because I had like this whole video like where it builds up on that song.
It's a good build up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ace of Spades you used, that was a really good build up too.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Was it with that "Ball with the Ball"? Here's the problem though: is he doesn't do the part where he goes, "My name is Kid," until like a minute 13 into the song, and so I'm like, I've got to construct a video that's going to keep a crowd like interested for a whole minute, and in comedy, a whole minute is a long time.
Oh yeah.
That's the one thing I hate is when the light goes on and people are just like, "All right, well that's my time," blah blah blah. And I'm like, "You've got a whole minute."
Yeah,
like
a minute you could stretch it out. It trips me up sometimes because I would be mid bit when the light comes on, and I'll finish the bit and I'll kind of time in my head. All right, I've got 40 maybe 30 seconds left, and I didn't even have enough time to get to my true closer, so I'll just end on a fucking one-liner.
Sometimes I'm a real piece of shit though, because what I do is I get onto the stage, I get my watch, I turn it upside down, and I turn it to 3 minutes. And so what I'll do is when it hits 3 minutes, my watch will vibrate big. I know where I'm at.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of ways you can do it, but like I've got to the point now too when I see that light, I should know where I'm at with my set. I should know exactly where I want to go with. And then, like, it's hilarious. Like, we give people time before they get musicked off and stuff like that. But, like, man, like, I've seen people go, like, 25 seconds over before. And I'm just like, we got to do it at this point. Like, so sorry. Like,
sorry, dude. It's got to. You're not even. I got the music because I didn't see the light. I wasn't looking in that direction.
Dude,
I was fucking it up.
That reminded when that happened, dude. It was like watching like someone die in like a series finale that you're like, no. You're just like, I've got to do it. What? But it's like you're gonna save the world, but you know that this man is like blah blah blah.
Yeah,
and that's what it felt like because I was like sitting there. I was like, I don't want to press. I don't want to press. And I think I gave you like 25 seconds.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I gave you a long time.
I did not see it. I didn't see it at all. I didn't.
The other guy lighted you. So like this thing, I was like, I told him, I was like, when you light people, you need to make sure that they are looking in the direction or vicinity of where that light would be. Yeah. Like at least they're looking forward. Because
I think I was looking down.
I think that's what happened. Is like he might have caught you on a cider, and I'm just like, man, sometimes, but then. It happens, dude. I've been music like 3 times. I even got music on the night that I told people not to get music to go over their time. It was so embarrassing. Dude, it sucked.
That's the lesson, It's never the same show twice, really. And I learn something new every time I go up there. And it's like, oh, if I crush a joke or whatever, and I always like review the tape or review the audio, and I always go over it going, oh, I could say it slightly different this way. Like I'm like I go over my footage much like how a football player goes over game tape.
Yeah.
And I try to change it and tweak it every little bit. And when I performed at Kendall's, I did 10 minutes, but I was like, okay, this is right after a major ice storm. Like nothing was landing really, and it was like really fucking me up. I'm like, okay, this is life. This is what happens. You bounce back from it because like you have to bomb.
It's Kendall's mic. What is that? It's on Thursdays sign-ups at 9:30. Show at 10. Brandon Kilo.
You should come through.
Yeah.
He booked a friend of mine on December 17th. He booked a friend, the homegirl Christy Bellich. Shout out to Christy Bellich.
Oh, cool.
She's a road comic. She travels around and all that stuff. And she hit me up and she's like, "Oh, you moved to Oklahoma City. Where are some mics around here?" I'm like, "Oh, there's Bricktown. There's Looney Bin. There's this Kilo show.
Maybe we can get her to host one of the other mics too. She's coming through. I'm always looking for people to host Othello's. It's 10 o'clock.
Is that an Italian restaurant?
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet.
It's on Campus Corner. It's a great show. Dude, it's the longest mic. It's the longest going open mic in Oklahoma City, in the Oklahoma area.
How much time?
You get 5 minutes live
5?
for. And if you host it, you get $25 and free food.
Oh my god! Well, that's kind of the reward in itself. It's
Oh, yeah.
free food. I'm like, I'm down for a free meal. at
Dude,
Beach
do you get the
Postmates.
chicken parm? They're like, and especially on Tuesdays, it's 2 for 1. So you get 1 chicken parm and get 1 free.
Mhm.
I was so happy last night when I got home. Like I forgot that like I got those chicken parms,
Uh-huh.
and let alone I was just like, oh, I only had 1, and then I got home, I smoked a little bit, and I was like, wait, oh my god, I have 2 chicken parms. I'm eating like a king tonight.
Mhm.
I actually watched another music documentary,
Which one?
Descendants.
Descendants? Oh, I know Descendants.
Film
Yeah.
it. They have one called Filmage. I've watched it before, but it's such a great documentary. Like it picks up like their early days, where they went to today.
Mhm.
Like Milo, for instance, the lead singer and stuff. Like, dude, like guy is a genius. He's a chemist for DuPont.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and so when like the Descendants do shows and tours, that's kind of him on vacation. Like when he's not doing this, he's actually a chemist doing all this crazy shit. And yeah, and it's cool to see like them growing up, because that was the whole thing. And like, so they split up in like the early 90s, and the other guys became a band called All, which was really just the Descendants with a new lead singer.
Uh-huh.
But at that time, Milo was just going to college. That's like a real thing. So if you ever see like Milo goes to college, like, yeah, they named their CDs after real situations.
That's awesome.
So like, I believe I don't know, I think Descendants are like one of my favorite bands to relate to.
Oh, they're good. They're
Yeah.
definitely really. They've got that anger. They've got that angst, and that's really important.
Their songs, when they were young, their songs were about being young. When they got old, their songs are about being old. They have a song in their last album. Fuck, I forget the name of it, but the name of the song is about like not being able to eat meat, like being able to eat burgers anymore.
Yeah.
Because you got like cholesterol and shit. And I'm just like, it's hilarious when you listen to it. It's a 2.5-minute song about this, and you're just like, I love the drums, I love the guitar, I love the bass, the singing's great, but I know what he's talking about.
It's kind of like second puberty. Like, oh, they're getting old. Like some of them are having kids, and
Yeah.
like, I have IBS. I don't shit right anymore.
What's funny is like, we were talking about bands that are still around earlier, like Korn and stuff like that. I feel like Korn's like definitely one of those bands now that if I went and seen live, I'm like, play Freak on a Leash.
They won't.
Yeah, like, I mean, dude, they have so many new songs.
Yeah.
Like, they're a lot bigger than people think anymore, and they're still big. And it's just like, man, but I come from a generation where I'm just going to want to hear everything off of the self-titled album.
Yeah.
To, I don't know, probably What You See in the Mirror. I think it was the last album.
Take a look in the mirror.
Take a Look in the mirror.
That was the last one Head did before he left for a little while, I think.
Yeah, because after that, so they had that album. What the fuck was it called? It was the one where they had the music video that had like Exhibit and everything on it. Twisted Transistor. That was it.
That was the one.
That was the weird Korn album, because that was when Head left the band, so it was just Monkey, Fieldy, David was still in the band, it was Jonathan. And I just remember like that song coming out, Twisted Transistor, and I remember thinking like, this sounds weird.
I blasted that song in my cousin's car. My cousin had just lost her mother-in-law, and she was, having a difficult time. And so I had control of the playlist in the car. We were driving to her house, and I just put on Twisted Transistor because she loves Korn. And I just blasted it, and I was like violently headbanging in the car. And like, this is how you get the aggression out.
Oh yeah.
Like, this is how, like, it's a form of healing. Like, Korn kind of saved my life a little bit. They helped me get through like troubling times. Like, same with Disturbed too. A lot of that kind of music just helped me deal with my problems, and it was a positive outlet. Because otherwise, I don't know what I'd be doing right now.
Were you a big System of a Down fan?
Oh yeah.
What do you think of their new song?
I love how it took a fucking war for them to release new music. Like, holy shit, dude. I am loving the blasturbation that John's doing. I have a soft spot for like black metal and death metal, and like that style of drumming and that type of band. I was like, oh wow, they're really like.
I like how he definitely took Scars on Broadway and really transformed, because that was Darren's side project.
Darren's band, yeah.
And so he took Scars on Broadway. So if you listen to Protect the Land, that guitar riff, that opening, that's such a Scars on Broadway riff that he would do.
That's all Darren.
And it's just, dude, like when I heard that song come out, I actually watched the music video because I was on YouTube. And I think it was like, dude, it was like 1 a.m. in the morning. And it's like, it said uploaded. 59 minutes ago, and I'm like, whoa, whoa.
It just came on.
Yeah, and I'm like, I knew System had been working on stuff, but I didn't know stuff had actually been recorded to this magnitude.
They said that they recorded a bunch of songs, but then there was like conflict with the band and all that. Like, so they had a bunch of stuff written that I knew, but in terms of completion, that was...
It's kind of like, it was like with AC/DC, the same thing with AC/DC when they released their new song like a month ago.
Yeah.
I remember Brian Johnson had been kind of kicked out of the band, replaced with Angus Young, and then there was like that whole thing. People were like, Angus Young is with AC/DC in the studio. I'm like, I need to hear that. Like, I know it's gonna be garbage probably, but like, I had a friend that went and seen one of the shows with Angus Young, not Angus Young, with not Angus Young. Oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? Guns N' Roses right now.
Miles Kennedy? No, he was vocals with Slash's band.
Alter Bridge.
Oh fuck!
Axl Rose. My bad.
Oh
yeah,
my
Axl
God.
Rose. Yeah, so like Axl Rose. Yeah, pardon the interrupt there for that. But
That's okay.
AC/DC. No, I remember when Axl Rose.
Axl Rose was in AC/DC for a little bit.
Yeah, because remember that. So like when they released new AC/DC with Brian Johnson, I was just like, oh, we just all missed that where Brian Johnson went back to AC/DC.
Well, I mean, his vocal performance was improving because Chinese Democracy was.
I remember when that came out. Finally, I had a friend. Like, I mean, I'm a big GNR fan, but like he's a big GNR fan.
Yeah, it took so long.
Yeah, and like I remember when it came out, like I liked it, but I didn't like it. Like my favorite last Guns N' Roses song was like "You Could Be Mine" from Terminator 2 because that song fucking kills.
I play that shit. I had a playlist at a yogurt store that I was working at for a while, and that song was on there.
That's a great song.
I had "You Could Be Mine," and I followed that with "Night Train." I'll have an artist play like a couple of songs, but I won't play like the known hits. Like I'm not gonna fucking play "Sweet Child of Mine."
My Michelle, that would be my second choice.
That's a good one too.
I come from a skateboarding background, so a lot of songs that you hear, you grew up listening to and hearing in skate videos.
Yeah.
And so, like, My Michelle was in this video for audio called "One Step Beyond," and fuck, I forget the goddamn skater's name now. That was part of it. Something Jackson, I think. I want to say. But no, he had My Michelle, and like his pull part just starts off with that guitar, which is like like that, and then like it showed his name, and then he just does this nollie flip of the seventh stair, and it's like, oh shit, like,
oh my God.
and the song worked so well at that part.
I wanted to skateboard, but I didn't have health insurance growing up, and my mom like just kept me away from it.
Oh man,
because I watched Jackass, I watched Viva La Bam, and all that stuff, and I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it so bad, but it's just she just never got me the skateboard, and I never became a part of that.
I flew out of a shopping cart when I was 15 years old.
And didn't everyone at one point?
Yeah,
like...
I broke my finger though. I dislocated the joint at the knuckle right here. And so, like, me watching skate videos, I remember, like, every video I've ever seen that happen, they're like, immediately shove it back. It's going to hurt.
Were you drumming at the time, too?
Yeah. So, I remember just going, right that, and I ripped it forward, and it hurt. Oh, it hurt, but it was back in place, and I couldn't move it. It was really stiff. I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my dad or anything about it because I was terrified, man. I was like, oh, shit, he's going to be so pissed because I went to the hospital a lot. And I'm like, to this day, it's fixed. I can move it now. I've been able to move it, like it was a couple weeks it took. But, like, I mean, yeah, don't break your finger. Like, if you do anything, don't break your finger because it doesn't heal back right. I believe that there's like a thing that like if you break your finger, it's never the same again.
Yeah, there's like cartilage or whatever. I haven't broken any bones yet, but like there's the cartilage like in between like the knuckles and all that, and that like gets like calloused and fat and all that, and it looks all bent.
I hate surgery.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
I got a colonoscopy a couple of years ago, and they put me under.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because I got problems down there. I don't shit right. It's not fun.
Man.
But they knocked me out, and I was like, okay, all right, do we get to have dinner first before you like put it in my butt and all that? And they knocked me out, and I was, it turns out fine. I don't have cancer or anything like that. But it was like, it was like that anxiety of, I'm wearing a hospital gown. Everyone sees my ass. I don't want to be here. Like hospitals, like scare me. They scare the fuck out of me.
I hate them.
They're clean and like they smell weird and like too clean, like scary clean.
I don't trust the lady who knows where the lobbies are.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. It's just off-putting, and I'm the type of guy that tries to put the light into a situation. Like I'm just joking about things left and right, and they're just super serious about all the procedures. And I'm like, okay, come on, you guys are practitioners, you're professionals. You can be a little loose, can't you? And they just stonewall you.
I was at a hospital once that had a Subway. And I thought to myself, I was like, son of a bitch.
Oh no. Subway's
Subway.
fucking gross. It's not even bread.
But this is like the late 90s before, we knew what Jared was. Like, and we're all just like, Subway rocks.
Is he cranking it to kiddie porn? Like, what the fuck was that? Like, he lost all this weight, and the Irish Supreme Court declared that it's not bread. It's more like a confectionery because there's so much sugar in it. So I'm like, so how'd this motherfucker lose all this weight? He's been lying to us the entire time.
Oh, I think South Park did an episode about that.
They did. And there's like commercials with like athletes.
Remember in Adam Sandler and Happy Gilmore, that was like his whole thing. He had like a Subway for Life card.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my goodness.
Subway used to be on top of the world. Like they used to be massive. What's crazy is during COVID, did you know they had the highest financial numbers in all of the food industry? Subway.
You have to walk in. Like a lot of places, they won't let you in.
DoorDash started incorporating Subway. Subway started also incorporating pickup, like car pickup and stuff like that. They were curbside.
Yeah.
They were one of the first companies to start doing that. During COVID was Subway. And so by Subway doing that, their numbers boosted up higher than they've ever seen in the last 10 years. Like, and I'm just like, they need a new spokesman for this.
Yeah, Tom Segura was supposed to be like Jared's brother for a campaign.
Oh, God.
A while ago. It didn't happen.
Oh.
But like, how cool would it be to have Tom Segura as your Subway
Just
guy?
eat Subway.
Just eat Subway. And, why not do your mom?
Yeah.
He'll just do outlandish shit.
That's why I bought a purple mattress. I'll tell you right now. I watched a Tim and Eric ad, and they used to do commercials for purple mattresses, and I got so excited by that. And I was like, oh my God, we have those in our catalog at work. I get a discount, and I fucking bought one. And I bought it because Tim and Eric had like a commercial. They're like, we got purple mattresses, blah, blah, blah. Buy it. They're weird. They're fucking
weird, and I love it.
I know. And I love that ad so much. It's like they did did you ever see when Tim and Eric did the ads for Totino's pizza rolls?
Yeah.
I already ate pizza rolls at that time, but I went and bought more pizza rolls just because I was just like, these are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like I'd have people and I'd be like, pizza snack time.
That's fucking crazy. Did music... did music come to you first, or did comedy come to you first?
Oh, dude, I've always been around music.
You told me your dad was in a band, and you like grew up around like thrash metal and all that.
Yeah, my dad played in like metal rock bands in Arizona and stuff like that, and played drums. And I think something with he played with bands like Meat Puppets and stuff like that. They did stuff like that, and like growing up, like my name's Adrian. My parents actually named me after Adrian Vandenberg.
Oh, nice.
Guitarist for Whitesnake. So
I'm named after the wrestler Jake the Snake.
That's badass, dude. You should be DDTing everybody.
I want to. I mean, it's such a niche thing, wrestling.
What you should do is when you become bigger, you should call yourself Jake the Snake, then maybe he'll be like, I give this name to him. Like you just.
I would rather get a cease and desist letter first, because that would mean that I'm headed in the right direction.
Ronda Rousey was able to do that because Rowdy Ronda Rousey, that's what she called herself, but it was Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Yeah.
Who was like, gave her the name. He's like, yeah, you can use it.
Well, she earned it.
That's true. You should probably go beat up a bunch of people in the octagon first.
Yeah, I need a Netflix special. I need a good Netflix special, or like 3, maybe 4.
I realized the other day, like speaking of UFC, I realized this like a few weeks ago, but it was like, I can watch UFC. I cannot do UFC. Like there's just like that, like even if you were like, hey, Adrian, we're going to give you like 7 months of UFC training. I'm going to be like, no, because that sounds exhausting. Like I don't want to put myself at 32 years old to getting up at 6 a.m., doing 1,000 push-ups, doing a whole workout regime, unless I know somebody's paying me millions of dollars.
Yeah, I could train for it. I think I could do it, but when it comes down to the actual fight, I'm a pacifist. I don't like violence. Like, I'm very non-confrontational. I don't think when it comes down to it, I don't think I could actually do it. I could train for it.
I don't like fighting. I try not to fight, and it's just like, I haven't gotten a fight, in a long time. Congratulations, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just like, at the same time, I just could care less. Like, if somebody's like, oh, let's fight, I'm not going to go, all right, no. Part of me is going to, like, why are we fighting?
Yeah,
this is stupid.
You need to give me a reason.
Yeah.
You need to, like, insult my mother. You need to, like, hit my mom in front of me.
Even if you insult my mother, I'm going to listen to the insult and just, like, either be like, oh, well, that was kind of a shitty thing, or be like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's like you should try that on stage, bro.
Yeah, try that. Yeah, that's a good joke.
Oh my God!
I just noticed you had another Iron Maiden banner.
Yeah, that one's a lot older. That's a live one. Iron Maiden was the first band I ever saw.
I saw them
in concert.
I saw them in Ozfest. I think it was 2005. Was it 05? It was the
05?
one
I saw them in 2008.
I saw. Did you get to ever see Ed Force One though?
Not in person, no.
It was
No,
parked
but-
for Oklahoma City. It was parked here.
Fucking A. I've seen the Flight 666 documentary. I'm sure you have too. Yeah.
Dude, imagine getting a flight and they're just like, Bruce Dickinson is your pilot today. I would be so happy. I'm
what
like,
a fucking crazy guy. Like you're singing in the band
and fly.
and flying it, and he's a fencer. He's a whole Renaissance man. Like, where does a guy find the time?
What's your favorite Iron Maiden song?
That's another question where the answer's different every time. Iron Maiden song or album?
Song.
Was it song? Oh god.
What is like a go-to song that you can listen to every
Well,
time?
the go-to song, I have a playlist for when I drive, and "Fear of the Dark" is on that playlist. Just because it's 7 minutes, it's chill, and I fight the urge to press down on the gas pedal when it gets to the fast part. "Fear of the Dark" was like the quintessential Iron Maiden song for a long time. But then that'll change to like "Hallowed Be Thy Name" or what's that fucking Dance of Death. That's like a record that it wasn't like too popular, but Rainmaker was like the best song for like a good amount of time. It changes. It's honestly different. Like the Book of Souls album. Tears of a Clown was done for Robin Williams.
Was it?
Yeah. The song Tears of a Clown is about Robin Williams because he died like while they were making that record, and they dedicated that whole song to him.
That's dope.
Yeah, and Robin Williams is also in a Legend of Zelda game, but great comedian who influenced everyone. Stole jokes, but he was still great nonetheless.
What was it? Have you watched that Comedy Store documentary?
I haven't seen it yet. I've seen clips of it. I know some of the history from people that I know. Like there's a guy I know. One of my mentors, his name is Joey Cerise. He was an Italian guy that did a 2-person comedy act. He was passed in the 80s at the store, and he got passed by Mitzi and all that.
Wow.
He did the store, and he was gonna go places, but then his brother, who was his other guy, it was the Jimmy and Joey act. It was like these 2 fat Italian guys that were just bouncing off of each other, and it just kind of fell apart. And he's doing something else.
Oh, shit.
I don't know. So I know a couple of guys that Stephen Pearl was in the store in the 80s, early 90s, and all that, and they walked away from it because it got dark. It's kind of like it's got a darker history. I don't know so much about like the boom of the store. The way I heard about it was kind of a dark, grimy place where comics would get together and like do cocaine and all that crazy stuff. So I like kind of steered away from it for a little bit. But now I know the store is like it's not just that. It was a happy community, from what I've been told.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always wanted to do it. It's a hard nut to crack. You mentioned how the Looney Bin's a lottery-based system.
Yeah, you have to go there and you just get a yes or a no or a guarantee.
Same thing with the store. But the line with the store, because it's in Hollywood, the line would go all the way down the block. And you gotta hang out there in the morning to get a spot.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Laugh Factory. It's a very hard nut to crack, but you gotta love it. You gotta want to do it.
I just remember one comic came through our town, and he was asking me one night. He goes, like, "There's a lot of people at that mic." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "How many people would you say out of your scene weren't here tonight?" I was like, "That are actively doing comedy in OKC." I was like, "We're probably missing about 30, maybe 40 of them." And he goes, "Holy shit." He goes, "You've got a small scene. You have a grenade here. Like, you have talent, you have people, but you have such a small scene that he couldn't see why it doesn't just, a lot of people come out of it."
Yeah.
Because he's like, you go to places like LA where there's like you said, like lines down the block.
Lines down the block.
Just to get on OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, I go see, get on to the Comedy Store or something. When you can come here to Bricktown, and hey, you may not get on this week, but I guarantee if you're there at 6 p.m., you're going to get on the mic.
Yeah, if you're on the waiting list. Like when I first moved here, I didn't know that there was an advanced sign-up sheet online. Didn't know that yet. And I'm like, okay, let's check it out. Got on the waiting list, and I'm like, might not go up, but let's see what happens. And I went up, and I'm like, okay, cool. And I did some searching and all that stuff, and I'm trying to figure it out. The Midwest, this area, I don't know if it's just here, but people are hungrier for entertainment here. I don't know. It's because you know, a lot of people view like the Midwest as like flyover states. Like, oh, there's nothing to do over there. I'm like, there's stuff out here.
OKC is like slowly building and it's becoming a bigger city. I think that's one reason why I stayed. Like I was gonna go back. I wanted to move back to New England, and I just like I like it here because I'm gonna be honest with you too. The medical marijuana thing was a huge like. If anything, that's what got the vote. I was just like, oh, you get this card? Okay, I'll stay. Like, but I feel like also too, a lot of people are coming here. It's got a lot of weird. It's weird. It's a weird city. It's super.
It's a mix of country and city.
Yeah,
You're not too far from like the outdoors.
And that's the thing when all this stuff is over with, everything when we go back to normal and stuff like that. I feel like Bricktown's just gonna boom.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is with that place that opened up next door to it, that country bar, I went there the other day, and it's almost like 3 stories. They've got a big stage, everything, stuff like that. I'm like, those people are gonna eventually just come right over to there, or probably go to the mic and then go there. Like, dude, that's a good traffic.
Yeah, and plus people want to laugh. They want to have a good time. And it's been I moved here because of COVID, and my cousin lives out here. She's like, hey, there's stuff that's open here. LA was completely shut down.
I recommend you come to Roastmania Sunday, man, because I'm going to promote the hell out of that on Jason Mewes shows, and I'm going to try and get that place. Because it's the finals. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be fun.
I went to the last one, and that was really good. You put on a really good show.
That was the Texas. Oklahoma
Texas versus OKC. Yeah. That was really a lot of fun.
That one was hard to do because, like, I know all these people, but these people don't know these comics. Yeah. And so I wanted to like make sure that they all had good sets, good roast. And man, the one between Julie and Kate, that was a hell of a roast. And they don't know each other, and it was so great. So like now I can start booking like that. Like I want to.
Do they get like a little bit of homework on each other? Like.
Oh yeah, I usually tell like I already have this month, December's and January. Oh, I'm still booking January's, but. I have this and next month's already booked out. Like, I already know who's going in, and they already all know.
They know who each other is. They look each other up on social media. Yeah, so like, this person looks like a fucking retard or whatever, you know.
And see, that's the whole thing about it is, too, if you want to leave your Facebook, you want to leave your life open, go for it. You're just giving the other guy ammunition. Yeah. But at the same point, the thing that's great about Roastmania is with everybody coming up and doing 10 minutes before their set, and then they roast each other. It's a good way for the audience to be like, oh, this guy, I get this. Yeah, I know who this guy is.
The audience kind of gets a chance to get to know them, too, as opposed to a straightforward roast where, like, you don't know who these people are. They're just making fun of each other based off of their looks. And you can also, like, who's the guy, one of the stoner guys that won?
Justin Keithley.
Yeah. I'm not trying to talk shit, but I don't think he should have won. Because I think he was, like, flying kind of, like, by the seat of his pants.
All right, that's right. Yeah. Hey, that's why.
I think he just kind of like just went for it and maybe got lucky with the crowd or whatever. But because the round that he did with the Texas guy,
Mikey B.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, I got nothing. I'm like, this guy's moving on. Okay, whatever." Yeah, I'm not trying to trash the guy.
Oh no problem. No, it's no problem. It happens, it's the audience who decides. Like he had a lot of ovation, but I want to try and incorporate like a newer method into it with the audience. Like I kind of want to start, like part of me kind of wants to like have like distinct judges that are like a panel.
Yeah, like the audience should still be like a factor. Yeah, in it for sure. But like, there's also like the chance that like, because I've done bringer shows before, and oftentimes with bringer shows is that whoever brings the most friends kind of like kills the hardest. Yeah, like. The joke itself isn't necessarily funny, but all the friends that comic brought or whatever goes ha ha ha, like laughing and supporting, they get more of an uproar.
We kind of have a show like that called Battle Royale, and one of our comics on the show brought like 20 people.
Yeah, so that guy's gonna win.
He did it though. The other guy won. It was weird. Like the ovation got crazier for him, but like I was just like, some of your friends hated you.
Oh shit.
But no, I mean it's pretty fun and stuff like that. Like this week, I'm really excited for this. Like it's fun to have a book show. Like my book, like I actually have my shows this weekend. It's nice to have that, but then also have my showcase show that I do. And like this is the first time it's worked like this, so nice. I'm excited for, like with my show. I've been on other shows where it's worked out, but like Roastmania is like what I do here, and
Yeah.
I like the fact that it's like I'm gonna be on the show with Jason Mewes, and at the same time can tell these people, hey, guess what? There's another show on Sunday. You guys
Yeah.
like chaos? And I'm like, yeah, come see Roastmania, because at Roastmania, like I said, I always encourage the audience, if something sucks, let them know.
Yeah.
Like, trash that person on stage. I love having audience participation. Like,
And it's also not out of like maliciousness, you know. It's just it's a stage, you know. This is a magical place where words can't hurt us, you know. If your feelings are actually hurt, maybe it's time to go do something else.
oh yeah,
you know?
if this isn't for you, like if you're
Yeah.
gonna go up there and get butt hurt from somebody saying something like that, just go do it. Just you don't do this. Like, and I don't know. You'll meet comics like that in the scene too. Like that come up to you and be like, "Oh, do you think you should be using that word?" It's like it's not for you. Like your audience isn't me.
Change the channel.
Yeah. Well, I heard from a couple people that I know in the audience. Oh, a couple people you know. Again, are they paying me? Are like do they want to come see me do this show that I'm going to be doing this weekend? Blah blah blah.
Yeah. Are they greenlighting a Showtime special? No.
Yeah. Do they work for Netflix? Oh my god. Like, and the thing is, like, I tell all new comics, like, just go with what you think is funny. If it's funny to you, maybe it's funny to somebody. Maybe it's funny to a certain type of people. You'll never know. But from that, you can grow.
Yeah.
You can keep doing this.
I've wanted to do jokes that are in like the heavy metal world that we've been talking about, but that's also like a niche thing where I'm like, you know.
Come to the Drunken Fry on the 27th.
Where is that?
That is right over there. Like, fuck, I forget where the name of the address is. But yeah, it's like not that far from here.
A stone's throw.
But like that's like a punk metal bar, and then they have a showcase every month. Yeah.
Down. I had a bit where I wanted to have like I had Bernie Sanders as a metalhead, and I had like a whole impressionist bit on that, and I did it once, and it did okay. But I'm like, I need a certain crowd for this type of bit.
So like me and Cameron would probably be the best people to see that, just because, like I said, just both know our music knowledge and stuff, and especially rock and metal and everything. And so there's jokes that I've done before. Like I used to do the White Snake joke, and I didn't tell, and some people didn't know who White Snake was, so I had to be like, "Here I go again."
You got to explain the joke now, and then you're just.
But like finally, people grew up and were like, "I know that song." I'm like, "Yeah, it's like the one White Snake song you should know. It's been remade 3 times. Like, come on, like."
I did a joke where like, Mike Pence looks like if Henry Rollins didn't join Black Flag.
Oh shit!
That shit fucking crushed.
That's good.
But that wouldn't crush like if it's a bunch of old white ladies, you know, like I said, like you said earlier, you got to be able to read your audience. So like, there's a bunch of jokes I want to try, but then like, oh, that crowd's not ready for that, or that crowd's not gonna fit that flavor.
I made a joke one time that was like, somebody said something that's gross. I'm like, ma'am, you don't know what gross is. I'm from the same town as Gigi Allen. Trust me, we can go down a path you don't want to talk about. And I remember that hit one time with a bunch of people there. And I was just like, yeah, if you know who Gigi Allen is, you'll get it. If you don't know who it is, allow me to explain it. Like,
oh, yeah. You've seen that documentary.
Yeah.
Like, he would get naked and shit on the stage.
He was insane, man.
Yeah.
Like, he had some pretty good songs, but you know,
part of that I think was like shock value. That was just to, you know, make people.
That would never incorporate today. Like there would nobody be like here, just like, oh hey man, let's go down to Bricktown. Why? This guy's performing. He likes to shit at the end of it and throw it at the audience. Like, all right, sweet. How much are tickets? Like that's not a conversation I would like. If somebody said that to me today, I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna go.
Man, if someone would be into that, would they even have the money to afford that? Because the type of people that are into the type of shit that Gigi Allen's in are probably not going to comedy shows. You know, they're probably like on the meth.
The meth.
The meth. You know, Mexican Americans, they speak Methanese and all that shit.
I like that.
Yeah. I want to use that. There's like a bunch of stuff that I have written down, but when I go on stage, like I forget half of the things that I want to say every fucking time. Like I'll go through my notes.
Do you write down your stuff or?
I do write it down, but it doesn't stay. It doesn't stay.
You need to smoke more weed.
That's the thing, is that the weed relaxes me, but I also forget.
Oh shit!
I lose my train of thought like almost all the time. Like I'll do a set. What the fuck? Oh, that's my camera dying. That's okay.
I say I need to find you a good formula then of weed, a concoction. I'll be like, smoke this. 15 minutes later, smoke this, and you'll be good.
Yeah, I've definitely like I don't drink either, and I haven't done comedy drunk, and I want. Didn't you do? You had a mic where it
Under
was
the influence.
Yeah, under the influence. I'm scared of that.
It's a scary.
I'm a little
mic.
scared of that. Yeah.
I did that mic. I got really drunk.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything was just kind of falling apart, right?
I guess I sat to the corner of the stage. I stood the corner of the stage because at that time I was like, hey, if I do my set like this, I'm not gonna throw up. Like that's what I thought. I was just like right here, and then that was a fun show. It's not my style, but it's fun.
I think I just need to trust my stuff more because
Yeah.
I'm very self conscious. I don't trust 100% of my material a lot of the time.
If I have a new joke, I'll go out there, just wing it, and throw it in the mix of like some other joke. Because usually, if I have a new joke, I can incorporate it with another joke that I've written before. And the one thing you always want to try and do that it's good if you can pull them off is a callback.
Mm-hmm.
And I have like 2 jokes that like have callbacks to them, and I'm just like the whole problem is like trying to find one as the opening, and the other part is the closer.
Yeah.
So
it's hard. It's hard, but that's why we do it as many times. You said you've been doing it 5 years. And, I mean, it's going to be another 5 before
I'm just curious where we'll be in 5 years. HBO.
Max. Yeah.
2 specials already done. Season 2 of my show.
It seems more like easier to it's easier for a comic to get a special now. You think? Like HBO was kind of like the coveted thing, like back in the day.
Well, see, I like comedy, but if I could, I'd love to get into like shows. Like, I always want to be a producer, writer for show, and that'd be fun. Or SNL. SNL would be great.
That'd be great.
You look at somebody like Phil Hartman. Phil Hartman didn't even get cast on SNL till he's 38 years old.
Oh shit!
Look how huge he was.
Yeah. And that's just the struggle of just doing it, putting in the reps over and over again. Rodney Dangerfield was an old man when he got his big break, and he'd been doing it for like 20-something years.
Did you know that Phil Hartman was like a roadie for Jimi Hendrix?
Oh shit! No, I didn't.
People like that. He did some crazy stuff in his early years of his life, like especially in the music industry. Like Phil Hartman was like everywhere, man. And then he was always known as a funny guy. Like people were like, "Oh, he's so funny, he's such a great blah blah blah." That, and then look where he went, SNL, and then
shit.
That dude is great. Like it's just like that's what I look at. You look at people like that for inspiration. Like people are like, "Oh, I'm too old to be a comic." You're never too old to do shit, dude.
No.
Comedy, dude, fucking even anything, even people who get into acting, actresses. Look at somebody like Christoph Waltz. Christoph Waltz was in Glorious Bastards.
Yeah,
guy was in his mid-50s.
Yeah,
now he's huge. Like,
yeah, it's I mean, you just have to keep doing it.
Yep.
I mean, as far as I know, I don't have a future, so I'm just gonna do this until I can't anymore. And
then you get to a skateboarding career, right?
Yeah, I would have. I mean, what? Yeah, Tony Hawk was like 40 something, and he's retired.
He's 54 now.
He's 54. Oh my god.
54 or 53. Yeah.
What a fucking maniac.
Yeah, he's still a good skater. Yeah, he still kills it, man.
Yeah, but he's like, dude, like his body's gonna let go eventually, you know.
I think that he's probably got to that point in age where he knew that stuff like that. He doesn't do the heavy stuff that he used to do back in the day, but I mean, a lot of skateboarders, especially ones that are like that have been in and around this long, they know what their bodies are capable of doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Tony Hawk's one of those people that's like, I know what I can do. I can go up here and do this trick. I know that. It's like a basketball player in his 50s shooting a 3-pointer.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what do you think of Steve-O doing comedy?
He's been doing it a while. He does storytelling stuff. So
yeah, he's good. He duct taped himself to a billboard in Hollywood to like promote his website.
That's
duct taped himself.
That's a good promotion, though.
Genius.
Yeah.
He put himself on the billboard, literally.
Did you see it?
Yeah, it was right down the street from where I went to college.
So you saw Steve-O on the billboard?
I mean, I saw helicopter footage of it because I was I think I here? I think I was here. Yeah, I had just left town, and I was like, oh fuck, this place is
so
blowing
I need to
up.
get a billboard and just duct tape myself to it.
He did it. He did it all night, man. Dude, it was really great hanging out with you, man.
Oh hell yeah, man!
I
It was
really appreciate it. Really quick before we go, you got to plug those dates.
Oh yeah, Jason Mewes. Yeah, Jason Mewes is November 12th through 14th at Bricktown Comedy Club. Thursday shows at 7:30. Then Friday and Saturdays are 7:30 and 10:30.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be opening those shows.
And Roastmania is right after that?
Yes, Roastmania is right on the 15th. It's going to be at 7:30 that night. Add me on Mr. Corwin's Lounge. That's on Instagram. And come out and see other Roastmania. It's a great show. Locals, Roast War. It's going to be fun.
And all my listeners back home in LA, sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Get a plane ticket.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
If you can,
Live
like,
stream.
you've actually got. Let's see, you've got 4 days to make Roastmania.
Yeah, I mean, you could get it. I mean, COVID's up and killing us all. But hey, look, get on the plane. Just do it.
It's
Come
true.
see Jay and Silent Bob.
If you do 600 miles per hour in an airplane, you don't get COVID. That's like a known thing. COVID
It travels faster than
Yeah.
than COVID. It puts the mask on its face or it gets the lockdown again. Okay, thanks. Bye, everybody.
Later.